Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene, around the state of Oklahoma and around the United States and around the world with sports and things that you might want to hear about. Chris Lincoln, our co-host with me, and I'm Gil Cloud. And I tell you what, today we've got a great show, Chris. I'm telling you.
One of the great Oklahoma Sooners of the past, two-time All-American wide receiver, Tinker Owens. He's more than Steve's little brother. He was quite a football player himself.
All-American, there's no question. And
two-time national champion.
Two-time national champion. Played in the league with the Saints, and the quarterback was Archie Manning.
Neil Johnson's down here from Miami, Oklahoma. They got a big event coming up November 10th as they honor Steve Owens' 50th anniversary of his Heisman Trophy from 1969. He'll be here to talk about that. We got a very special guest with some surprises for both Tinker and for the folks from Miami, Oklahoma.
And how lucky are we? Eric Bailey has a day off on Monday because the Sooners are open this week.
And he was in Manhattan this weekend.
He witnessed everything in Manhattan, and he'll be able to tell us about what happened, I think.
And you got an honoree for the Tulsa Public Schools Hall of Fame coming on the show.
Emmet Hahn obviously is a name that everybody in Tulsa knows and has known for years in the racing, but he does go in this year on January the 30th to the TPS Athletics Hall of Fame. He is a former Webster Warrior.
And we'll have our Remington Race Report with Dale Day and look ahead to the Breeders' Cup Championship Weekend, $30 million worth of thoroughbred racing out at Santa Anita Park in California. Start with our roundtable discussions and the hot topics, and who would have thought? OU goes to Kansas State, loses 48-41, and Kansas State deserved it.
You know, I fortunately at one point in my career was on the staff at K-State. The Oklahoma game is a big game in Manhattan, Kansas.
They made it homecoming this year.
Made it homecoming, you know, and we're thinking, what in the world are you thinking? The number 5 team in the country, 7-0, coming into your homecoming. And boy, I'm guarantee you one thing, Aggieville was rocking on Saturday night. There's no question.
Well, you think Sooner fans were shocked by that result? Wait till you listen to the post-game comments right after the game with Lincoln Riley, the OU football coach.
Obviously, incredibly disappointed. Didn't play very good against a good football team in a hostile road environment. And you know, when you play like we did, you're gonna, it's gonna get down to, a coin flip play at the end, and it didn't go our way. And so, it's good that we fought back, but just disappointed in our, how physical that we were consistently across the board. We just didn't do the things well that we've done as we've won, all of our games coming into this one here in the season. Really on all sides. We didn't tackle very well on defense. I mean, I think this was probably just without watching the tape, I'm sure it was the worst tackling game that we've had all year.
The Sooners have a bye this week. They're going to need an open day to get that defense back on track. Meanwhile, they'll host Iowa State coming up on November the 9th. We just found out kickoff, right?
7 o'clock
7
kickoff.
p.m. How about
really
that, Sooner fans? Not bad.
And I tell you what, that is a dangerous football game with Iowa State. They came off a loss from Oklahoma State, which was a surprise, I think, in a lot of cases. And I know that Coach Campbell and his crew will have the Cyclones ready to play.
How about those Cowboys? They'll go up to Ames, Iowa, win 34-27 as underdogs there. Great win for Coach Gundy and the staff.
I think Las Vegas took it on the chin this weekend because of the point spreads. But they played really, really well. And I've said from the start, Chris, I think that the quarterback, Spencer Sanders, is a heck of a quarterback. He's a young one. He's a redshirt freshman. He's going to make a mistake now and then. And when you do that and you have an offense that is in that realm, you've got to play good defense, and they played good defense this weekend.
Also want to recognize, Coach, give a tip of the hat to Malcolm Rodriguez, the junior linebacker for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. It was his pick-6 touchdown. It was the deciding score for Oklahoma State. Former Wagner star, he was a big all-sport guy at Wagner. Great to see that young man doing so well.
Tremendous athlete at Wagner, and of course, tremendous athletes make tremendous plays in big games, and he did in the Oklahoma State-Iowa State game.
There's no way you can miss a 29-yard field goal to win the game as time runs out, is there? God bless him.
Well, I tell you, I was a kicker my entire career, and when you get into a slump, that's what happens. It's like being a hitting slump in baseball.
Yeah.
I can't hit the curveball. I can't hit the fastball. I can't. And you think, well, I'm going to step and I'm going to kick, and the snap is going to be good. And boy, I tell you, you talk about 2 ball games at University of Tulsa. could have been in there with SMU and now Memphis.
Yeah.
It's just a killer. It's a shame.
The American Athletic Conference has the ABC primetime game Saturday night. Thanks again to Tulsa, it looks like, because there'll be Memphis hosting SMU, and it's going to be quite a football game. Big show for the AAC. Arkansas, what do you say?
Good luck. Good luck.
Lost to Alabama 48-7. Could have been worse. That's without Alabama's starting quarterback, of course. Tua didn't even play. And the Hogs now have Mississippi State at Arkansas, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Pro football quickly, coach. The Dallas Cowboys had a bye week. Kansas City without Mahomes lost to Green Bay. Pretty close game, though. And then New England beating up on Cleveland. Arizona lost to New Orleans. And I tell you, Drew Brees came back and didn't miss a beat after 5 weeks off.
Didn't look like he had been off at all, really, actually.
Oklahoma City Thunder got their first victory of the season, beat up on Golden State. How about that?
What an overwhelming win,
120-92. And that's, remember, the Thunder had 3 new starters, but this is an all-new Golden State team, too.
It wasn't that close. At some point, there was 50 points difference in the game. I mean, it's amazing.
Dennis Schroeder had 22 points to lead the run by the Thunder there. They had games on Monday, then had a game on Wednesday, tonight as we see the show. And they have Portland coming in on against Portland. Then Saturday, November 2nd, New Orleans comes to the peak there for the Thunder. Tulsa Oilers have had a tough week. Some new opponents. They were playing at Wheeling, West Virginia. Lost 6-4. Saturday lost in overtime to Kalamazoo up in Michigan, 4-3. Next home games, they have October 30th and 31st. Show up in a Halloween costume for the kids. Get in free for the hockey game at the 7:05 for the BOK. That's on Halloween night. College basketball coach around the corner. In fact, Oral Roberts, the first of our local teams, had an exhibition game, lost at Central Arkansas. They're picked third, though, in the Summit League. They'll start the season November 6th at Oklahoma State.
Well, the thing about Central Arkansas is a Division I school.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, it's an exhibition game, but they'll have some players at Central Arkansas. I think that's a pretty good test early for Coach Mills and his crew, and I think he'll be able to gauge what he did with that.
The University of Tulsa has a game on Halloween night, Thursday exhibition game with Rockhurst. It'll be kind of fun, only $5 tickets. Kids with a costume get in free admission. They have all kinds of fun there, candy and stuff to give away. So get out there, support the Golden Hurricane. They tip off the season on Halloween night. TU picked 10th of 12. And Coach Frank Haith talked about this new team for TU.
I feel really good about our team. They're a working group. I think we have really good length on this team. I think we have good depth on this team. This team is very competitive, and we've had some really, really, really competitive practices. So it's a fun group. I'm expecting a lot of good things out of this group.
Oklahoma State has their exhibition season opener on Friday, November the 1st. It takes hosting our friends from Rogers State.
You bet, and I think Justin will have his team ready to go, and that'll be a great opportunity for those kids to play in a big-time setting.
And on Tuesday, November 5th, Rice plays at Arkansas. Razorbacks picked 10th in the 14-team SEC conference there. Coming up next, a real special treat for us. You mentioned Tinker Owens, 2-time All-American, 2-time national champion at the University of Oklahoma, and yes, he is Heisman Trophy winner Steve Owens' little brother. He has quite a career himself, not only at OU, but with the New Orleans Saints. Stay with us. Tinker Owens is next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Hey Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen, separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events. Very special guest joining us from Norman, Oklahoma, coming up here to spend some time on Oklahoma Sports Scene as we tape at the Bricktown Brewery on South Peoria in Tulsa. My good friend Tinker Owens. Tinker, good to see you, my friend.
It's always good to see
Coach
you.
Kyle, of course, that's right.
Good to see you.
Well, we go back a few years together, my friend, huh?
Many, many moons.
Well, I'll tell you, back-to-back national championships, quite a run there. You talk about, let's go first back to Miami High School and some of your War Dog days, too.
Well, you know, it was great playing in Miami. Miami was a great place to grow up, and we had, of course, LD Baines came in my junior year, and LD really kind of believed in me as a player. I wasn't very big, obviously, still not, but you know, I was 155 pounds my junior year, and not much more than that my senior year. And so, you know, we had some good football teams. Actually, we probably should have won state that year. And we got tied back in the day when you didn't have, you know, overtime. And I think we got beat on first downs or something, or penetration.
Penetration,
Penetration is one or the other.
Yeah.
And the team we'd beaten 2 weeks before, 42-12.
Oh, gosh.
And then playing the first game playoffs, end up in a tie. And so, but we had a great football team. We had a great basketball team. We were undefeated, 27-0, won the state championship the only time it's ever happened in Miami. And then we were second runner-up in track.
This what year now? This would have been
72.
72. Wow.
We were runner-up in track, and we should have won that. But they had a guy named Carlin Thompson who had the state record, and he ran the last leg of the mile relay, and they won it, and they had to win it to win state.
Yeah.
So we lost it right at the very end.
Gee,
so we had quite a great teams, Miami.
Well, from Miami on to the University of Oklahoma, of course, and the legacy of a pretty good football player in the Owens family. His brother Steve Owens, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner of '69. And I tell you, talk about your recruiting by OU. Were you a hot recruiter? Everybody in the country wanted Tinker Owens to come play?
No, I was recruited by BYU, K-State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, of course OU. Arkansas was really after me as hard as anybody in Oklahoma. And I was actually going to go to Arkansas because Steve was going to go to Arkansas when he got out. And then Jim McKenzie became the head coach at Oklahoma. And when that happened, Jim was the one recruiting Steve, so that's how he ended up at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd have been.
I remember he said, "Forget everything I told you about Arkansas."
Yeah.
I'm going to Oklahoma now.
Exactly right. You know, and so then, of course, Steve said, "You know, what are you going to do during the recruiting process?" And I said, "I think I'm going to go to Arkansas." He said, "If you go to Arkansas, I'm going to kick your butt." He said, I said, "Well, he's a lot bigger than me. I guess I better go to Oklahoma." So obviously, I made the right decision.
You sure did, I'll tell you.
Well, I tell you, you had a great career there, and but wouldn't you like to be in today's offense with the spread?
You know, I would, but you know, winning 2 national championships and 4 Big 8 championships, being on those teams.
Too bad, yeah.
Meant more to me than catching a bunch of passes. But we ran the wishbone. That's the way it was, and I understood that. Billy Brooks understood that. We didn't like it. You know,
how many balls did you catch in a game or in the season, Tink?
Most I caught in 1 year was 18, and the least I caught was 12.
Wow, the whole season.
Yeah,
it changed a bit. Yeah.
Well, I caught 12 my senior year. Billy Brooks caught 7, and we both made All-American.
That's right. That's right.
Teams.
Amazing.
How that happened, I have no idea.
Win national championships.
Yeah,
it's easier. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, of course, one of our dear friends, late Steve Davis, of course, was the trigger man for those national championship back-to-back teams, 74, 75. Some great football teams, some great times back at OU.
Oh, we had some great guys. You know, the Selman,
Jimbo Elrod,
Selman brothers,
yeah.
Jimbo Elrod, Steve Davis, Joe Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, Horace Ivory, Jimmy Luttrell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just go down to Wayne Hoffman. It's just the guys we had, and not counting all the defensive backs and all the linebackers that we had, Rod Shope, guys like that were great, great players, you know. So I was very fortunate to be at Oklahoma at the time I was there. And I can always brag to my brother that I never lost to Texas, Oklahoma State, or Nebraska.
Charles Wayne Owens. How'd you become Tinker? Tell us that story.
Well, my sister Patsy and Della, I used to watch Pinky Lee on television when I was a kid.
I remember that.
Well, I don't remember Pinky Lee. So I was too young, but I was watching it on TV, and every time Pinky Lee would go off the TV, I'd cry because I wanted to see more of Pinky Lee. And so they started calling me Pinky.
Oh.
So Pinky would have really been tough
Whoa,
to
Pinky
deal
Owens.
with in school.
That'd have been tough.
And then it evolved to Tinky, and then it evolved to Tinker.
Tinker, there you
So
go.
out of the three, Tinker was the best of the three.
Yeah, oh my
So
goodness.
that's how I ended up getting that name.
Wow.
So I started when I was 5 years old, now I'm 65.
How about that?
So you were recruited by Oklahoma,
what coach?
but who from
Leon
Oklahoma?
Cross.
Leon
sure.
Cross.
Leon, that was the last year. I tell Leon this. I said, Leon, that was the last year we recruited because you recruited me, and they said, you're not recruiting anymore.
You know, Leon Cross recruited me.
Really?
Out of Tulsa Rogers, and I'll never ever forget this. It was when A Straight Jacket was a movie, and you know they flew me in from Tulsa to Norman. I mean that's really a big deal. But we were weathered in, and so we go and watch this movie. Now this guy is the old rugged Cross.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a two-time All-American, tough. Played 6 years because he got the extra year and everything. We're sitting there in this movie, and I mean we're both white knuckles on this horror film the whole time. I felt really good about that because I went, God, he's an All-American, and he's scared. I'm scared to death. But and I did not see him again until I coached at K-State.
The funny story, Leon Cross and Rick Mason was a GA at OU. And when they came to Miami, they said, what do you want to do? You want to go eat dinner? And I said, no, let's go have a beer. And I was 17 years old. True story.
Oh, my
I
God.
said, let's go have a beer. And we said, well, I don't think we can go drink with you. So he said, I said, well, let's go to the Golden Gloves. I had a friend of mine that was fighting in the Golden Gloves at Pacific Center. So we went to the Golden Gloves and watched the fights.
I'll be.
From OU on to the New Orleans Saints NFL career, 76 to 81, 6-season career. Talk about your NFL career.
Well, it was up and down. You know, I started my second year in the league and blew
Who was
my
quarterback in the Saints then?
Archie Manning.
Oh,
all
nice.
6 years.
Okay, yeah, wow.
And I blew my knee on the last preseason game, so
Oh,
I missed
my
the
goodness.
entire season.
Gosh.
Came back the next year and started that year, and then they happened to draft a guy named Wes Chandler from Florida who was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So, and he was the #1 draft pick and made a lot of money, and I wasn't making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get him on the field.
Yeah.
So the last 2 games of that season I started, they said we want to put Wes in and get him some playing time. Well, I saw the writing on the wall. I go to training camp the next year. I go to the training camp and I'm the backup. So I saw it coming, you know.
Oh, man.
But you know, it was tough years. That's when they called us the Aints. Wore bags on their head, sold bags outside the stadium. They painted them up like Mardi Gras things. And so I mean, it was just, it was tough. It was a tough time to play down there.
Well, I'm amazing. How was Archie as a teammate?
Archie's a fantastic guy. I can't find a finer guy. I stay in touch with Archie. We text a lot. We talk on the phone. He recently called to tell me that I wanted to inform you of you're being inducted into the Sugar Bowl Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
New Year's.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
New Year's Day. I'm going in with 4 other guys.
Oh, that's
great.
fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. And so Archie said I wanted to be the one to call and tell you.
That's great.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What are your impressions of this 2019 Sooner football team?
Well, they were a lot better until last Saturday. I still don't. I don't question coaches. I mean, coaches make the decisions. Fans don't, and I sure don't. But I don't know why we ran the. And I know Hurts ran the ball, but our running backs only had 6 carries.
Yeah.
And all this season, we've established a good running game,
Yeah, you
which
bet.
has opened up the passing game. Of course, when you get down 25 points in the fourth quarter, you got to throw the ball.
Right.
You know, it's kind of hard. But we shouldn't have been down that, but we were, and tried to make it come back, but it didn't happen.
I was telling Chris, the offensive coordinator for Kansas State was my coach when I was the director of athletics at Upper Iowa University,
Wow.
Courtney Messingham.
Wow.
And so I texted him after the game. I said, "Go ahead, Coach. What a great plan you had." He said, "Hey, players make plays. I just call them."
Right.
You know.
You got something Tinker making
I
that
sure
trip up
do.
for Norman?
Bricktown, and you can use it anywhere you want in Bricktown.
Thank you.
Take the wife for
Go.
dinner sometime.
I appreciate
Take
it.
champagne. Don't leave us yet because we have a special presentation for you. Very special person.
Okay.
When we come back on Oklahoma Sports, you don't want to miss this. Right back.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
All right, Charlie, we have a special presentation for Tinker before he leaves and heads back to Norman. It's our great friend, the fabulous Hall of Fame sports artist, Jay O'Meara, has done so many great works, including 17 incredible University of Oklahoma football memories, which I know you say kind of your legacy of some great moments of Oklahoma football, Jay. You've worked on for years.
Boy, yeah. I spent a lot of time on the sideline. My first game was, some of you guys weren't old enough, 1950. OU, Texas. And I was getting called back into the Korean War. And these 2 buddies of mine said, you ever seen an OU, Texas game? I said, no. They said, you're going. Well, I was so enamored with the game and this number 35 that ran up and down the field. I said, who's 35? He said, oh, that's that kid from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Billy Bessel. But I just became totally engrossed in football. And
jump ahead to 72. And you were on the sideline when Tinker Owens played Nebraska in his freshman year. Talk about this painting here.
Well, John got hurt, so they pulled a freshman in. And I'm there on the sideline. I mean, he was coming down that sideline. I said, God, I hope he doesn't trip. And when he laid out, and he had to lay out to get the ball because it was just a little bit ahead of you. And he hit the ground, and I'm going, he bounced up, and I think he got about another 10 yards. I don't know whether you went into the end zone or not, but you were.
I didn't go in the end zone, but it was a good game.
Well, Jay, sign this for you, Tinker, and hope you enjoy that. You said you got a good spot for it in your office?
You're darn right.
Might take Steve's painting down.
I'm going to take Steve down. and Billy Sims and Jason White.
Jake, thanks, Joe. Safe trip back to Norman, buddy. Thank you. Thanks, Tinker. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Good to see you, man. You bet.
Yeah. Hey,
thank you.
You bet.
I appreciate it very much.
Well, you enjoy that.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tinker.
I'll get it framed.
Thank you,
Yeah. This other gentleman here in the red suited shirt, by the way, too, is from Miami, Oklahoma. This is the gentleman who's kind of in charge of this big celebration on November 10th up there, honoring Steve Owens' 50th anniversary of his Heisman Trophy. Want to welcome in Neil Johnson. Neil, you brought a friend with yours here, too.
Yes.
Your Miami City manager's with you, too, right?
Yes, sir. Dean Crudoff.
Let's talk about the big event coming up November 10th. Jamie and I'll be there, and tell us what it's all about.
Well, it starts off Saturday, the 9th. It's combined with the holiday market there.
Big event at the Civic Center, right?
Big event, expecting a lot of people.
Yeah.
The tickets are $3, and that gets you in both days. And that also gets you into Steve's celebration and signing. Right now we have like 31 vendors that is going to be there, so it's going to be a pretty big event.
Yeah, that's a bunch.
Yeah. So we're excited about it. We're excited to see Steve again. Always excited to see Steve. But we're going to have some pictures there, commemorative 50th anniversary pictures to be signed. Yeah. And we have a limited number of coins that will be available for sale. Those are going to be like $10, I think. We're asking anybody that comes, you can bring an outside item, but we're going to try to limit it to one. It's going to be a busy day for Steve, so we're going to try to get everybody going that way. Yeah. But we're very excited about the event, and it's hard to believe it's been 50 years. It just
Steve will be there Sunday, November 10th from 2 to 4, is that
2
right?
to 4.
Okay. And again, so much of this is such a, what has been the impact of the Owens family on the city of Miami?
Steve, not just Steve, but Tinker both have done so much for Miami. The thing I always say about both of them and all the Owens family is, as great as they are as athletes, they're better people.
Yeah, they're good people. Yeah.
And they're great ambassadors for Miami.
Well, I mentioned Jamie and I are going to be up there on that Sunday, November 10th. Miss Becky, bring this in. This is especially, Jay, tell us what this is, and you're going to be presenting this to Steve Owens. Talk about this painting here.
Well, I've done a series on a lot of the players, of course, and Steve and I kind of hit it off. I've done the Jason White sculptures on the Heisman Plaza.
Right.
But I've done some of the highlights of the different, like the Selman brothers, Selmanizing Nebraska. And I got poor little Jerry Taggy, he's going, I think I'm going to get killed. But anyway, and this one I had to do Steve, and because of versatility, I mean, he'd been blocking, receiving, and he was some blocker. I mean, and I'll never forget the game we were playing down Stillwater. He'd just been in 45 times he had the ball, and he staggered over to Switzer. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Coach, can I take a break?" He said, "You take a break tomorrow."
Jay, this is fantastic. This is Steve Owens. They're going to be presenting this to Steve up at the Miami Civic Center on, again, November the 10th, 2 to 4 p.m. Neil, talk again. Tickets be available up there?
Yes, sir. There'll be $3 when you get in. Like I said, there'll be for both days.
Do we get in for free?
Yes, sir, you do. We'll work that one out.
Thanks for joining us, Neil.
Thank you,
Jay
sir.
Amelia, you're a treasure of Oklahoma. It's fantastic work. We'll look forward to being up there in Miami. We're going to come right back to talk more Sooner football with Eric Bailey, who was up in Manhattan, Kansas last week.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Remington Park is now officially open around the clock. That's right, we are 24/7.
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
So when we say the party never ends, you better believe it. Remington Park, now open 24/7.
The Eschbach 6E Ranch on 800 acres north of Tulsa invites you to know the benefits of miniature Herefords. The 6E has always been committed to providing the finest quality meats. Our hormone-free beef is always on grass, then grain-fed the last 90 days to that perfect mix of marbling and taste. We will deliver the animal to a USDA-inspected facility. All you have to do is pick up your vacuum-packed processed meat. Fill your freezer with the finest quality beef at the best price. We also specialize in registered miniature Herefords for breeding and show. Call the 6E Ranch today.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, and now we have a sports writer for the Tulsa World, Eric Bailey. Eric, you've had a lot to write about this weekend.
It's been a crazy weekend. Who expected OU to go up to Kansas State and lose? I don't think anyone did.
Unbelievable.
And you were there. Explain it to us. What happened?
I don't know if I can, Chris. I'm still trying to wrap my hands around this. But it was just Oklahoma they were rolling after 7 games. You really thought they wouldn't have any problems at Kansas State. It just defense reared its ugly head, something we hadn't seen in a long time.
8 consecutive scoring drives K-State had.
Yeah, 6 of them were touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns. They ran all over the Sooners.
You know, it's interesting. The Kansas State offensive coordinator was my head coach at Upper Iowa University, Courtney Messingham.
Wow.
And after the game, I texted him. I said, Courtney, great plan. He said, hey, Coach, good players make good plays. But I thought he had a tremendous plan against our defense. They shut Murray completely out of the defense.
Yeah, and Kansas State, they executed. They performed. They took care of the football. They did everything right that you needed to do to beat the Sooners.
Great atmosphere up there, too. And great to see Coach Snyder up there in the press box area.
Yeah, and that's the first game when you think about it, Oklahoma's played in front of a rowdy crowd. It wasn't like that at UCLA. It wasn't like that at Kansas. And at Texas, they had half the crowd in their favor.
Sure.
So this was the first rowdy crowd they had all year.
You know, when I coached there, that was back in the day where every game was played at 1:30, and there was one game on TV. We used to open the stadium at 11:30 for the students to come in. And by 1:30, you talk about raucous. Oh my goodness! It was, and they were there. They were there.
I'm getting tired of hearing about we need turnovers. Been 4 straight games out of turnover, and this defense, boy, they've lost their way again. I don't know what's happening.
Well, Alex Grinch mentioned it too. Turnovers are killing him. When he was at Washington State, he coached 39 games as defensive coordinator. There were only 4 games in those 39 he had no turnovers. Here he's had 4 in a row, and it's driving him crazy.
Not time to panic yet. We've done this before. Lost a game, then got back into the playoffs. How do you look at it right now? With the AP top 10 came out. In fact, Oklahoma fell from 5 to 10, and we have really Baylor's at number 12. Iowa State, Texas fell out of the top 25. So it's not much in the Big 12 left.
No, but you know what? Every year we're seeing this chaos. We've seen Oklahoma lose 1 game in the middle of the season in 15, 17, and 18 and still make the playoff.
Yeah.
I think Lincoln Riley stressed that to his team. Crazy things can happen. You just look at what happened in Manhattan this weekend. Look what happened in Georgia a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Crazy things can happen. So you just got to finish up strong and hope things happen and dominoes fall the right way for you.
The only poll that counts, of course, it's the first of 5 of the CFP, the College Football Playoff Poll. That's going to be released on November 5th. The final one, of course, is ESPN, Sunday, December 8th, where they reveal the final 4.
And where is Oklahoma going to be? I don't know. It's going to be, and they got to get into that front 4. So don't panic, like you said earlier. You can't panic if you're 10 in that first poll. There's plenty of football to be played, and if you just keep winning games, do what you're supposed to do, you'll move up. It's just, can you move into that top 4?
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's going to be a loss here in a couple of weeks. LSU and Alabama. Somebody's going to lose a game there. Now, how far they'll drop them down is interesting. But
Georgia, Florida playing this weekend.
Right.
They're 6 and 8 in the current poll. So.
Yeah. And the team you got to watch out for is Ohio State. I've just been so impressed with how they played all year.
They really have.
They played totally offense and defense without any question. Every game they played.
Exactly.
And boy, what a great coaching job they've done.
And you know what? For the first time, you have to look at the Pac-12. Oregon and Utah might have you a player in this. You hadn't had to worry about them if you're a Big 12 school lately.
Correct.
But this year, they're ahead of Oklahoma right now.
Yep.
I know your focus has been OU, of course, this season, but I know you have some comments about Oklahoma State and the tough luck Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
You know, with Oklahoma State, their defense with 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter, got a big win at Iowa State. That's just going to boost their confidence.
Huge win.
And at Tulsa, you just got to feel sorry. They're really snake-bitten. They could be easily have 2 wins over SMU and over Memphis, which would have been huge for that confidence.
Correct.
And just field goals, just the kicking game. It's hurting them so much.
And we were big fans still of Chad Morris, and going to Arkansas was a great fit. And boy, it's just a disaster for the Hogs.
Well, you know, you just wonder what kind of personnel he had when he took the job. You got to have the right players to run his offense, and it's hard to get right in the SEC. It's hard to get well in that conference, and I think that's what they're finding out. So we'll see how that plays out the rest of the year.
It's hard to get well quickly in that conference.
Exactly.
That's the big thing. You know, the 3 to 4 year process. Everybody's a little bit impatient with that in the SEC, and I think, well, we see the Auburn coach every week. He's either on or off. You know, he's on the hot seat this week. Oh, he's off.
And another former Tulsa offensive coordinator.
Okay, correct.
Gus Malzahn.
Gus Malzahn, you bet.
Big 4 area basketball. The preseason poll doesn't give us a whole lot of excitement to look forward to. We're talking about Oklahoma State picked 6, OU 8th in the Big 12's 10 teams. Tulsa picked 10th of 12 in the American Athletic Conference. ORU, they picked number 3 in the Summer League. Arkansas 10th in the 14-team SEC.
Well, with Oklahoma picking 8th, I really think they're going to finish above there. I mean, they have 3 established starters coming back from an NCAA tournament team. Plenty of new faces. Austin Reeves is a Wichita State transfer who's really going to add them depth at the shooting guard position. I think they're going to surprise some people. I really do. Oklahoma State, with all they have returning in front of the starters, they're going to be good. I think they could be better than 6.
And Tulsa High School talent going over there too.
Exactly.
Right?
Memorial High's represented.
But I'm going to tell you, I think Moyton probably does as good a coaching job as anybody in the league. I mean, really coaching on the field.
And then you talk about Tulsa, they always finish ahead of where they're picked. Even though they're picked low, I don't see them finishing 10th in the AAC.
No.
And an open date for OU, and then you're back to work with Iowa State coming to Norman.
Iowa State, 7 o'clock. Believe it
No,
or
is that
not.
the
No
announcement?
11 a.m.
All right,
game.
how about that?
You believe me, I was cheering because I'm tired of those 6 a.m. drives from Tulsa to Norman. So looking forward to an evening game under the lights.
At kickoff, it'll be 32 degrees.
Hey, come on now.
We have something for Eric here.
You bet, Eric. Be our guest again at Bricktown.
I tell you, this is one of my family's favorite places to eat. So they're excited whenever I get to join you guys.
And your wife and daughter here with us tonight?
They're here tonight. So.
Yeah. Good. We're going to have dinner with you in just a second. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Eric Bailey, the OU beat writer, doing a great job with covering the Sooners here. We'll be right back to talk Chili Bowl with Emmet Hahn. Stay with us.
Winston, tie or bow tie? Good choice.
Sammy, they're here.
Good morning, welcome to Don.
Come on, you guys. What did you think they were here for?
Well,
It's the Honda Summer Spectacular Sales Event going on now at Don Carlton Honda.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brewhouse? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene here in the beautiful Bricktown Brewery on 3300 South Peoria. And today we have a special guest. Everybody knows Emmet Hahn, who is a future TPS Hall of Famer in January.
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
Congratulations on that honor, too.
Well, thank you,
Where'd
sir.
you go to high school here in Tulsa, then?
Webster, just no West Side boy.
Webster Warriors.
Yes,
Webster
sir.
Warriors,
Yes,
I'm telling
sir.
you. You bet.
We go back a long way. I came to Tulsa in 1974. One of the first calls I got was, Emmet Hahn, you need to get your big butt out here at the Tulsa Speedway and learn about racing. And we had some great times over the years, didn't we?
Yes, we did. That was back in the 80s. What people didn't know at the time, back in the 70s here at Tulsa Speedway at the fairgrounds.
Oh, man.
They was drawing 10,000 people on a weekly show. And there was not another racetrack in the world drawing that kind of people.
That was some of the guys you drove with and against and stuff. We had some great memories there.
Oh, gosh. You got the Harold Leaps, the Ray Crawfords, the Benny Taylors. They were just, there was a lot of talent. And, you know, back in 71, I think it was, they started the NCRA. And there was about 9 racetracks: Hutchinson, Amarillo, Wichita Falls, Lawton, Dallas, Tulsa. And so we'd go to each one of them racetracks twice a year and kind of test the best of the best. And it was good to me.
And he was one of the best of the best. Emmet, in his racing career in super modifieds. He was in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas racing, twice champion of the NCRA, 5-time track champion in Tulsa, super modified champion in Oklahoma City, 3-time winner of Hutchinson Nationals. And after retiring as a driver, he decided to become this big entrepreneur and promotion man, and came up. Who comes up with the idea of racing indoors in January? The Chili Bowl.
Well, you just got to be a West Side boy that's not very smart.
Emmet Hahn figured it out.
Yes, he did. Wow. Coming up now on, what is it, 34 years. 34
Jeez.
Lucas Oil Chili Bowl presented by General Tires, and coming up in Tulsa January 13th to the 18th of 2020. But Emmet, I tell you, what an event that has become. Can you imagine when you started this, go to this?
Not in my wildest imagination. Lanny and I, when it finally got to be successful, we said, you know, we wasn't smart enough to figure this out. We just need to be smart enough not to mess it up.
Mess it up. Well, you have entries from all over the world?
Oh, yeah.
And 5 countries.
And 5
countries. I mean, 5 countries. We got spectators that fly over here from London, England.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
just spectators from Australia, New Zealand, the UK. It's just unbelievable.
What an impact on the Tulsa economy.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
during that time.
It's huge. Back before people knew about the Chili Bowl, us and down at Rema was about the only 2 events that sold all the rental cars in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Because, you know, because 85% of our spectators are from out of state, and it was just because it was kind of like a pyramid. When you said indoor race, they said, oh my God, the fumes, racing on concrete. And then when they got down here, and we had some good air quality for indoor. It's excellent now.
Yeah.
But when they seen the race, they thought, oh my gosh, so then them 2 people will bring 4 people next year, and that's how it grew. And by the time our local people decided this was a big race, there wasn't any more seats.
You actually, for 2020, you kind of built in some days for the local people to kind of get some tickets, have a chance to come watch racing.
Our Monday and Tuesday, we still have probably 2,000 seats, reserved seats.
I mean, January 13 and 14, is that right?
Yes,
okay. Right. Yeah.
And Tuesday night is when we have our VIROC, our VacuWorks Race of Champions. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are all preliminary nights. Different group of people each night, about 70 cars. And so our local people, I mean, our seats are $54 a night, but these are the 2 nights that they can get a reserved seat and set up there and watch it like the rest of the people.
Another upcoming date, November 4th. That's the entries open, right?
Yes, and them guys will have probably 325, 350 entries. I know our shootout is a race 2 weeks prior to the Chili Bowl. That's what spurred the Chili Bowl. I know when the entries opened on that, we had 400 entries the first day.
Gee,
you know, so it's unbelievable. And the shootout, you can't go to a racetrack in the United States that somebody there hadn't raced a shootout. I mean, Kyle Larson, he's won at the shootout. Ricky Stenhouse has raced there. Jamie McMurray's raced there. I remember I called Carl Edwards about running the Chili Bowl. I said, I don't know if you're, this is when he was running NASCAR. I said, I don't know if you're familiar with the Chili Bowl or not. He said, familiar. He said, I brought my helmet down there for 3 years trying to get a ride and couldn't get a ride.
So evidently the quality of the racers is outstanding.
There's nothing like it. I mean, we got late model drivers, we got sprint car drivers, we got Indy car drivers, NASCAR drivers, sprint car, midget, micro, and it's almost like it's a gathering of the clan. This is the only time that some of them ever get to see the other racers.
Right.
So it's a family deal.
Well, what's the appeal to these guys that are running in the big NASCAR circuit, Indy cars and stuff? And all of a sudden you see Tony Stewart wandering around Expo Square there at the Chili Bowl.
And Tony comes, he helps us with the racetrack. I mean, he hadn't raced the last 4 or 5 years. And I remember Dave Despain doing an interview with Tony and I. He said, how in the world do you get somebody like a Tony Stewart to come and help do the racetrack? And I said, well, did you look at his NASCAR season? He's broke. You know, he needs the money. But no, Tony loves it. Tony is one of the guys that really probably made the Chili Bowl what it is. Because back when he was running Indy cars before he went to NASCAR, he just loved this place.
Talk about the preparation. You talk about putting the track together. What kind of operation is that, Emmet?
Well, it's going to test us this year because I just left a meeting, and we've got 8 days before Christmas to get this whole racetrack put together.
How much dirt are you hauling in there to make that track?
700 loads of clay.
Oh, wow.
And then you put up all the cables and the poles, the fence.
Yeah.
It's quite an undertaking. It's one that we had to grow with it. I remember in the early years, we didn't even have a fence down the back straightaway because if the car went over the wall, wasn't nobody there to hit anyway.
Yeah.
But things have really changed.
Oh, I imagine.
Well, I tell you, the competition is so fierce. It's such tight racing. How big is that track again?
It's a fifth mile.
Fifth of a mile?
Yeah.
And they are all out.
Oh, I
It's
know.
unbelievable, and yet it really has been, for the most part, a very safe event.
It is. It has been, and I think what makes this thing is the fact that even though it's a fifth mile, there'll be a top groove and a bottom groove, and people's passing. And I remember Humpy Wheeler coming up one year as our grand marshal, and he got there. We went down the infield, and he watched 2 heat races, and he said, "My God," he said, "I've seen more racing here in 2 heat races than I see in a 500-mile race at NASCAR." And Roger Penske come down as our grand marshal one year.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And Roger came down here and he said, "I had to come to this because," he said, "when we get to Daytona," he calls them kids, which they are. He said, "That's all them kids are talking about is the Chili Bowl this, Chili Bowl that." And he said, "I just had to come see what this thing is."
Well, January 13th to 19th is when it is, and inside the River Spirit Casino there on Expo Square is the Chili Bowl, and again, it's going to be the 34th running, the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, presented by General Tire. The great friend Emmet Hahn's done such a fabulous job here. And Emmet, also a big part of this, the trade show. People love that trade show.
Yeah, and I forget to promote the trade show because we have 60-some booths in there, and you don't have to buy a ticket. You can just come right in the front door and turn left and go down to the trade show, and it's not all racing. I mean, they got jewelry, they got everything in the world down there, and so that's free to the public. And then this year, we finish our parking, getting all the rigs in there on a Sunday, and we'll be done by 1 or 2 o'clock. So we're going to kind of have an open house that Sunday evening that'll be free to the public where they can come in and meet the drivers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Have a little concert going on there, and so just a neat little deal on Sunday evening.
Be a great weekend celebration in Tulsa.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, it will.
Well, we had, I'll never forget, you VIP Becky and me one time, brought my wife Becky down there. She was a little concerned about the noise and also the air quality, but she survived, so.
And I'll tell you what, the fairgrounds has been outstanding. They have put these fans in. We've had some temporary fans down at the east end of the building to help draw that the bad air out of there.
Yeah.
Now then they've installed them permanent, and I'll tell you what, the air quality, we have the health department, the fire department, ourselves, the fairgrounds checking air quality all over the building, and it's great. Plus, they bought us some new bleachers this year.
All right.
Oh my
About
goodness.
$880,000 worth. So everything in there will be all new aluminum
that'd be
bleachers.
great.
So
Save us 4 VIP seats.
There we go.
There you go. There you
Got
go.
something for Emmet here, too.
Hey, join us in Bricktown again sometime,
All
man.
right,
On
well,
us.
good, Gil, and I
You bet.
appreciate it.
You
Emmet,
bet.
take care. Back to your wife, too.
All right, thank you,
Give her our
Chris.
best here.
Good luck.
Thank you, Gil.
We have some more horsepower to talk about. Beaters Cup, Remington Park. Horse racing is next.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Robertson Tire has been your local tire expert since 1962. Now at RobertsonTire.com, it's easier than ever to get a customized quote. And with our price match guarantee, you can be sure that you're getting the best price. For more information, visit RobertsonTire.com.
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen, separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event, with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events. This Friday and Saturday is the richest days in thoroughbred racing. It's the Breeders' Cup, the 36th running of the Breeders' Cup World Championships out at Santa Anita Race Park in California. It'll be 2 days, 14 races worth, listen to this, $30 million. All capped off by the Breeders' Cup Classic on Saturday. That race, $6 million. Post time, Tulsa time, 7:44. Remington Park's right in the middle of this great celebration of thoroughbred racing. On Friday, you can go to the races at Remington Park. They'll start covering at 3:10. Racing live to follow all the simulcasting of Breeders' Cup. Be there, wager, and watch the races on Friday. Then on Saturday, early post time, live racing at Remington at 1:30. They'll alternate between live racing at Remington and live racing for the Breeders' Cup Championship events. Great weekend at Remington Park. Want to be sure to be there. Dale Day now has our Remington report from past week with a really superstar horse that came from California to Oklahoma.
After struggling to break her maiden status on the West Coast, Blue Moonrise, a $500,000 yearling purchase in 2017, has found a winning home in a big way at Remington Park. After racing for Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert at Santa Anita Park and Del Mar for her first 5 career attempts in 2018 and this spring, Blue Moonrise was moved to another Hall of Fame trainer in Steve Asmussen and stabled at Remington Park. Under Richard Aramia on September 21st, the now 3-year-old filly caught everyone's attention. Off the turn, it's Blue Moonrise and Richard Aramia. They are clear by 6 and drawing away. Neon Dreams chasing in second. Taylor third, coming on fourth. Is Complex Analysis threatened there by Dina's Bold Move. Out by more than 10, Blue Moonrise will graduate today. She's galloping home strongly, and she'll win it by double digits, throttled down at the end. A maiden breaking voyage with a 14 1/4 length margin of victory, Blue Moonrise was quickly on the watch list for a return performance. Racing for Phoenix Thoroughbred 3 of Lexington, Kentucky, Blue Moonrise came back in Allowance Company on October 19th, testing a 1-mile distance for the first time, thrilling again.
And they come into the top of the stretch, and trotting on in is Blue Moonrise. Blue Moonrise just smoking to the front of the pack. Ms. Fabulous coming up for second, but it's going to be Blue Moonrise just running home, and it's a bad moon rising for the rest of the field because Blue Moonrise winning by double digits.
Scott Wanish had the call for the second route by Blue Moonrise, winning this time by a mere 13 1/4 lengths, easily handling her first attempt around 2 turns. Connections are currently quiet about what is next for the talented Malibu Moon filly. Options could include a stakes attempt in December in the $100,000 She's All In Stakes for fillies and mares 3 and older. We move into November and the final 7 weeks of the thoroughbred season at Remington Park. The Breeders' Cup World Championships take place on Friday and Saturday, November 1st and 2nd, with the simulcast coming to us from Santa Anita. The $100,000 Clever Trevor Stakes for 2-year-olds is on tap locally on Friday night, November 1st. Then on Friday, November 15th, Welder is expected back in the Silver Goblin Stakes as he tries to run his local win streak record to 9 straight races. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
So go out to Remington Park on Friday afternoon at 3:10 to enjoy the live simulcast racing from Santa Anita. Those are the 2-year-old Breeders' Cup races. Then on Saturday, special live post time at Remington Park of 3:10, alternate live racing and Breeders' Cup Championship races. All that at Remington Park. Big recap for you next week on the show. We'll be back with parting shots right after this.
30 years ago, a race began along a 1/4 mile of dirt and dreams in Oklahoma City. Today, with the biggest prize money and the best horses, that glittering 1/4 mile is home to the best quarter horse racing on earth. Remington Park proudly presents our biggest quarter horse season ever, celebrating 30 years of hard racing fun. World's best, OKC's own, Remington Park.
Hey Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
The Eschbach 6E Ranch on 800 acres north of Tulsa invites you to know the benefits of miniature Herefords. The 6E has always been committed to providing the finest quality meats. Our hormone-free beef is always on grass, then grain-fed the last 90 days to that perfect mix of marbling and taste. We will deliver the animal to a USDA-inspected facility. All you have to do is pick up your vacuum-packed processed meat. Fill your freezer with the finest quality beef at the best price. We also specialize in registered miniature Herefords for breeding and show. Call the 6E Ranch today.
We wrap up our final Oklahoma Sports Scene show for the month of October from the Bricktown Brewery Restaurant in South Tulsa with our parting shots. Gil Cloud starts us off.
My parting shot today is about a man by the name of Edward W. Stack. Now, you probably don't know that name, but that name is the name of the CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods, who started out as a family business, bought 2 stores, his dad did, his brother and him bought 2 more. That's not what's important about this. What's important about this is what Mr. Stack has done for high school athletics. He has made a commitment that they will give away $1 million worth of equipment every year to supplement the high schools who are really hurting across this country. Not only do we have Mr. Stack with Dick's Sporting Goods, the J.J. Watt Foundation annually gives over $1 million worth of equipment away. And then the Good Sport outfit that is sponsored by Dr. Pepper gives another $1 million. We've been fortunate in our schools to be able to apply for those grants and has supplemented. And recently, as you remember, Central got $100,000 from Good Sport. Thank you for all those entrepreneurs out there who are giving back to the high school athletic programs.
Well, the college football coaches' money list has just been released. A bit staggering. 10 current Division I college football coaches now are making over $6 million a season. Number 1, no, it's not Alabama's Nick Saban. He, poor guy, only makes $8.8 million. The number 1 highest paid college football coach is at Clemson, Dabo Swinney. For the Tigers, he gets paid $9.3 million this year. College football's top 5 highest paid coaches include Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, Texas A&M's Jimbo Fisher, they're at $7.5 million. Georgia's Kirby Smart, he rounds out the top 5 at $6.9 million. Now the Big 12 has 4 of our 10 coaches being paid in the $4 million plus range. Gary Patterson of TCU is at $4.9 million. That ranks him number 17 nationally. At number 15, Oklahoma State's Mike Gundy. Coach Gundy, $5.135 million in Stillwater. OU's third-year coach Lincoln Riley just keeps adding and adding on to his money totals. He now has cracked the top 10. He is ranked number 9 at $6.384 million. But the highest paid Big 12 football coach is at Texas, number 7 nationally. Tom Herman, $6.75 million. His Longhorns 22-13. He's 1-3 against OU. Coach, you get what you pay for.
Boy, and I tell you, Chris, we have got a really big event on Friday, November the 1st, 2 o'clock at Will Rogers High School in the Northwest parking lot. We're going to be breaking ground on a new stadium at Will Rogers, probably the first stadium built in Tulsa city limits in a long, long time.
$4.5 million opening 2020?
2020, open the season in 2020. It'll take about 365 days, and we're excited about that. It'll be a great opportunity for our soccer players, our football players, and our track and field, because all of that is encompassed in the loop down there. So we have a lot of dignitaries coming, and we want to invite everyone to come out and join us, because there'll be a reception after that in the RAC, which is the Rogers Activity Center, which is directly adjacent to the groundbreaking.
All right, have a great sports weekend, everyone. We'll see you next time on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Thanks for joining us.